father?
He called me. Said they thought we were about to be invaded.
And are you about to be invaded?
What on earth?
Come on!
Radio Frantic.
Pirate radio's not really my thing.
Pirates?
This one's got quite a following.
You know, if I were inventing a modulated frequency wave cancellation signal generator, I'd find that just a little bit distracting.
I will not hesitate to shoot you.
Why not just shoot us and be done with it?
What an excellent suggestion.
Do you think the human race will submit to slavery? Have you learned nothing from your time here? Nothing from observing this planet?
It is time to accept the inevitable.
I never accept anything from strangers.
Then I shall enjoy killing you as you watch this world burn.
Radio Frantic.
Hello and welcome YouTubers and Doctor Who fanatics to a review of the 4th Doctor adventure, which starts off Season 5, Wave of Destruction by Justin Richards. Yes, I am finally starting my reviews of the 4th Doctor adventures with Season 5. I know I'm quite behind on them. As I said, it was a bit of a struggle back in February and March and January doing videos, but channel's rebooted now, it's all good to go. And yes, starting with Wave of Destruction. And of course, when I've reviewed all the stories, I will do my normal procedure, what I always do when the 4th Doctor adventure ends. I overview the season. And now for this season, we have the wonderful Lalla Ward playing Romana 2. She's appeared in a few novel adaptations, such as Romance of Crime, English Way of Death, and The Brilliant Well-Mannered War. And now she has a season with the 4th Doctor, and as well, Season 6 will be with Lalla Ward, Romana 2. Now, not a lot of people were buzzing about this story. They're thinking that's going to be an average start for the 4th Doctor adventures. Nothing crazy or mind-shattering by here. But something is just going to turn out rather average. A lot of people were saying that. And it looked like he was going down the equilibrium sort of direction. People saying, oh no, this is not going to be a good one, but what happened to equilibrium? It turned out to be a bloody fantastic story, that's what. And yeah, it surprised us all. I know a lot of people, they just give no hope for stories, because they just don't look very interesting or intriguing, and Wave of Destruction was sort of getting that. I wasn't dreading it, but I was thinking it'd be a rather standard story by Justin Richards, and maybe like a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. But it looks like people were really wrong, weren't they? Wave of Destruction is getting a lot of love. A lot of people are giving it like 8 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s. I've seen a few 10 out of 10s, right? But other people have giving it a 5 out of 10, but it's nothing special, quite average. Yeah, this is my opinions on the Wave of Destruction, so you'll see if I like it or what I was expecting it to be, and it is actually an average story. So if you want to go straight to my review of Wave of Destruction and you don't want to see how it's showcased, then there is the time down below. You have or haven't skipped, then let's begin the video. So for the showcasing of Wave of Destruction, we have the brilliant 4th Doctor by there, Lalla Ward as Romana 2, Barnaby Miller or Agent Miller, Radio Frantic and these very nice radio waves, got some up there as well. Looks like a bit like space up there. White glare by here, because it really blends in the characters quite well. Maybe not by here, but down by here it works quite well. And we have some bunch of seagulls around as well. And with the standard stuff of Brand New Adventures, full cast audio drama, Doctor Who, Tom Baker and Lalla Ward starring Wave of Destruction by Justin Richards, featuring Carl Theobald, who is the DJ in the story, with John Leeson as K9 and the Big Finish logo by there. And then we have the spine of the CD, the 4th Doctor picture by there, Doctor Who Wave of Destruction 5.1 with the Big Finish logo. And then we have the bio of the story, written by Justin Richards, directed by Nicholas Briggs. I will paste this in the description down below so you can have a read of it, or check the Big Finish website. The cast list by here. Running time is 60 minutes approx, including behind the scenes. And inside we have the leaflet and the disc. Taking the disc out, it is a 2-parter. We have showcasing on us Season 4 of the 4th Doctor Adventures from start to finish, Exelons to Return to Telos. And then for the leaflet itself, we have the normal variant by here. Next episode, The Labyrinth of Buddha Castle, Doctor Who Magazine, production credits, and then the variation, which actually works quite well because it's the same colour by here, so that works very well. But I always have it on the normal variation. So that was the showcasing of Wave of Destruction. Now to my review of the 4th Doctor adventure, starting Season 5, Wave of Destruction by Justin Richards.
We're not sailing on the Atlantic here on the channel
Now to the review of Wave of Destruction. A lot of people weren't looking forward to it. I was thinking it to be an average story. And how did Wave of Destruction turn out? Well, looks like most of us were very, very wrong. So yeah, I will begin with the summary of the story. It starts off with the plot-wise, K9 detecting this signal, which is coming from 1960s in London. And it kicks off with the supporting character called Agent Miller, who is a MI5 investigator. And they have to find out with the connection to Radio Frantic what's going on by there with Radio Frantic. There's something quite odd about it. And what is the connection between Radio Frantic and this upcoming alien invasion? As it's not a spoiler that the aliens have something to do with Radio Frantic, as it has it on the summary. So yeah, when I explain you the summary of the story, or when you read the bio of Wave of Destruction, you're thinking, it does sound average. Yeah, the bio, it does sound average, but believe me, it's actually something a lot more. It's a lot more better than you actually think it is. So that's the summary of the story. Now to the in-depth review.
All the music playing in style. It's Radio Frantic here on the dial. Radio Frantic.
So when Wave of Destruction starts up after the title sequence, I immediately get the feel of Season 17. Instantly. Everything just comes together so quickly. The funny and witty dialogue from the 4th Doctor and Romana too. The music and the sound design, it all comes together and really feels like Season 17 stuff. And I know Season 17 is very mixed, but you don't have to rely on visuals for this. It's all in your mind. Doesn't matter about production or anything like that. But it works so well. It really feels like Season 17. And it does feel a lot like City of Death with the really witty and quirky dialogue. And I think Justin Richards wanted to emulate the dialogue and the elements from City of Death, the really quirky elements in it. So if you're a fan of the City of Death, then of course you're going to love this one. Yeah, Big Finish did a seriously good job here of immediately capturing Season 17. And I've heard that with all the other audios from Season 5. Labyrinth of Buddha Castle, Paradox Planet and Legacy of Death. Yeah, at the start it's got some really brilliant comedy with the 4th Doctor and Romana doing crosswords, and then when K9 comes into the equation, he says, I am programmed to perform algorithms perfectly, and then the Doctor butts in and says, well, that's cheating. And then Romana says, well, looking at the answers isn't cheating. And then, of course, the 4th Doctor does a funny reply after that. It's just so witty and funny, the dialogue, and very flirtatious as well from Romana and the Doctor as well. Which, of course, is a nice throwback to original Season 17. And as well, it feels like it's foreshadowing a moment of the Black Guardian. As K9 mentioned, he's been moving the TARDIS all the way around to keep the Black Guardian guessing where the Doctor is. A lot of people are saying that this story, Wave of Destruction, features after the Well-Mannered War. I don't really like to put it there chronologically because, in my opinion, the Well-Mannered War is what ends Season 17. And that the Pursuit of History and Casualties of Time are actually sequels to the Well-Mannered War, but I personally don't really want to see that. As I'm a huge fan of the Well-Mannered War, and I like to look at it as a ultimate end to Season 17 if it does get resolved from its cliffhanger, which I personally hope it doesn't, but I really don't mind which way it goes, but I personally like it to be kept ambiguous. So the characters of the story get split up quite quickly, with the Doctor with Agent Miller working out a murder which has happened, and more on Radio Frantic. That plot gets explored a little bit more, and Romana is forced to go shoe shopping with Jill. It's very fun, it is. It's one side where the plot is really fun, and another side is what's driving the story. So really well handled and directed, and as well written, the story. Because one side of the story is what's moving the plot along, and the other side is the really fun parts of Wave of Destruction. So where the plot is moving is with the Doctor and Agent Miller, learning more about Radio Frantic and these murders, and why Radio Frantic is so popular. And for Romana, she is forced to go shoe shopping, which is very funny, but it gets even more better for Romana later in the story, absolutely. She's used really good in this one, and what I really like about Wave of Destruction, you just see, or picture, as I should say, Romana in these different situations which you would never think Romana would be in these situations at all. Like going shoe shopping, even though she doesn't want to. And the DJ scene as well, very, very interesting, which I'll get to in a minute. It's just nice to see Romana in these different situations, which I just never imagined Romana to do. But yeah, the Doctor and Agent Miller have some fun interactions together. The Doctor being really rude and a bit of an attitude, a little bit grumpy, saying, "Yes, I can read," when Miller says, "Can I read that for you?" Now, the villains of the story. Very, very surprising. But also, they get introduced very early in the story, which does add another layer of drive to the story when they get revealed, which is, you know, it's an interesting choice, but yeah, I think it very works in the season 17 tone. Now, the monsters in the TV series, they're not good at all, but they have appeared in Big Finish stories. If it's 1 or 2 or 3, I'm not going to tell you, because of course that will spoil the monsters. But yeah, really good choice of monsters, because they really work in this story. And with the plot as well, it really works with them. On my first listen, I thought to myself they were introduced a little bit too early, but on second listen I said, nah, this is actually perfect, because at the start I was thinking maybe they should have been revealed at the end of the cliffhanger, but I disagree with that point. Now I think where they are revealed is perfect, because the cliffhanger is just so damn funny, as the Doctor is in danger, and what does he do? The classic Tom Baker, the 4th Doctor, he just gives a joke and then cliffhanger. Just absolutely perfect, that is. That's just classic Tom Baker for you. That just reminds me of the horror fan rock line, where the Doctor is in danger and what he says is, "This lighthouse is under attack and by morning we might all be dead." And then just that grin at the end. That's just classic Tom Baker for you. And Wave of Destruction's Part 1's cliffhanger is what reminds me of the horror fan rock moment, where he just cracks a joke in an area of danger. So to the supporting characters, I think they're absolutely wonderful, really engaging, and you can invest in them almost immediately when they appear. And as well, really fleshed out as well, such as Agent Miller. I really like his character, a lot of fun. And as well the DJ, which I can't remember his name, Mark Lancaster, who is absolutely great again, but don't worry, he's not like the Revelation DJ. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I'll go back to the villains now. I would say Justin Richard does the impossible here, and I can't believe he nailed it. Now, what Justin Richard did with these villains is surprising, but yet it works. I find it baffling that it actually worked, because I think no one else can actually do this. These villains have appeared in Big Finish before, but Justin Richard doesn't write them how they are in Big Finish, but does it like in the TV series, which is risky, because they're not good in the TV series, aren't they? If you know what I'm on about and if you listen to the story. But this is what Justin Richard does. He plays the impossible. He makes the villains like they are in the TV series, but yet they're good. They are absolutely rubbish in the TV series, but yet here they're like the TV series, but now they are extremely intimidating. They feel like a threat, and their dialogue is very disdainful. And they're quite sadistic as well. As when one of the characters was killed, one of them does like a really mocking giggle at the Doctor, just finding it funny. Yeah, they're very sadistic, just find it funny where they see pain and suffering. Seriously, well done to Justin Richard. He did the impossible and made it work. I am so surprised Justin Richard nailed that. Part 1 is just a wonderful start, just absolutely incredible. The villains already, they feel like a threat, which I thought was just impossible, because he didn't do it like their appearance in Big Finish, but more the TV series. But yeah, it worked. It's so funny. It's light-hearted, but it's got some serious elements locked in there and just hidden. You can't really see them that well, like quite sadistic villains finding it funny where they see pain and suffering. That's quite serious, quite dark tones, but it's mainly written to be a light-hearted romp. Just take it as a lot of fun. But yeah, the comedy and the seriousness of the story with the villains getting into gear is all balanced out and utilised fantastically, actually perfectly. Part 1, absolutely perfect. So to Part 2, Part 1 was a plot developer moving it forward, getting it ready for Part 2, and as well got some funny moments in there. But Part 2 doesn't really add any more to the plot now. We really know what's going on with Radio Frantic and all that, what the villains are. All it is now is to stop the villains from executing their plan. So Part 2 doesn't add anything more plot-wise, but there's still a lot more happening for Wave of Destruction, which is absolutely great. And a lot more funny scenes to happen. But yeah, the villains at this point are on top level now. They're just absolutely fantastic. And it really feels like if they not stopped, they would cause some big damage. However, Romana 2 isn't really in the action, which I found a little bit unfortunate. She really didn't have her view on these villains. And it's only really the Doctor who goes up against these villains, as the Doctor has faced these villains multiple times. And as well other Doctor Who spin-off material like comics and books and whatnot. I just wanted Romana to have her views explored on these villains, and we didn't get that, so a little bit unfortunate, but still it makes it up of what Romana is actually doing in the story. So yeah, what is Romana and K9 doing in part 2? Well, they are in control of Radio Frantic. So Romana and K9 are being DJs. As I said, there are situations which you think Romana would never do that, but we get it in this audio. Romana and K9 DJs. What more do you want from a Doctor Who story? It is seriously fun hearing Romana delivering DJ jargon. I just find it so damn funny. And when, you know, you get a really fun build up to it where, you know, the Radio Frantic song's going on and then it cuts away to the commentator of Radio Frantic, and it's just really fun to hear Romana speak. And as well, K9 goes into DJ mode as well. Just brilliant. Part 2, again, is absolutely wonderful. I'm not going to go too much into the villains or anything like that. I want you to find out for yourself. K9 is quite integral with the plot to keep it moving and whatnot. No one underused here. Nothing underused or undeveloped. It feels like this works perfectly as like a 50-minute story. Some 50-minute or 60-minute stories, they suffer with some elements being underused, undeveloped and whatnot. But this, it requires no longer length times or anything like that. It works perfectly as a 50-minute audio. Even though I like to think to myself, I wish Wave of Destruction just kept going on and on and on and never ended.
Want to get groovy with your granny? Tune to Frantic on her tranny.
So to characters and performances. We go to The Doctor by Tom Baker. Fantastic stuff from Tom Baker. He's really relaxed and calm. And from behind the scenes, everyone's just having so much fun with this audio. You know, they're laughing, they're having a joke, they're having a really good time. And it's I loved listening to the behind the scenes on this audio, because everyone, it seemed like they had so much fun with the story. And I think this is probably one of Tom Baker's favourites, because he really, really enjoyed himself in this one. And it's so great to have more stuff from Tom Baker. And he's still seriously enjoying it, because you can tell from this, Tom Baker absolutely loves Big Finish. His characteristics are spot on, his characterization, it's all there. Absolutely wonderful stuff. And then Romana 2 by Lala Ward, brilliant again. Really fun to see in these different situations where you think to yourself, well, I never think of Romana doing that, but yet you get it in Wave of Destruction. It's brilliant. Romana on the DJ, and then Romana going shoe shopping. It's a lot of damn fun. Unfortunately, she doesn't get really her own views on these villains. I wanted to see her have a look at these villains and what they're like, but don't really get that, which I find a little bit unfortunate. But still, what she gets in this story is absolutely brilliant. K9 by John Leeson. Fantastic stuff from John Leeson, performing of K9, of course. K9's quite integral with the plot to keep it moving to the overall conclusion of when the villains are defeated. And really fun moments in part 2 with K9 going into DJ mode. Now to supporting characters, we have Agent Miller, Barnaby Miller by Phil Marine, who is actually a Doctor Who writer. I'm not sure if I said his last name correctly. But yeah, great character, really good supporting character, a lot of nice interactions with the 4th Doctor. Next character is Mark Lancaster, which is by, I can't remember his name, it is Carl Theobald. Great casting choice here, he's a brilliant actor, who really does sound like a DJ, not like the Revelation DJ. You can get that right out of your mind. He's not like the Revelation DJ. And it's another really funny scene I like. It's either with Agent Miller or the DJ, I can't remember which character it was, but they are fighting one of the villains of this story. And yeah, they are struggling, fighting, and then the villain gets killed by seagulls. No, he doesn't literally get killed by seagulls. It's like the seagulls blind his vision, they're flying all over the place and he can't really see where he's going. He loses his balance and falls off the ship. So yeah, these Doctor Who villains, they're being really mouthy, really cocky, saying they're going to take over the world. But one of the villains gets defeated and killed by a bunch of seagulls. Don't mess with seagulls. And lastly, we have John Banks doing a lot of multiple roles here, such as voicing one of the villains. Really good job by him. Really versatile actor, of course.
Cool night, sick and frantic, to tell the bus you weren't radio frantic. Radio frantic.
So to the conclusion of Wave of Destruction. A absolutely fantastic 4th Doctor adventure. I very much recommend it. It's a solid piece of work. One of the most funniest Doctor Who stories of all time. If I feel like down or want to have something to cheer me up, I'm probably going to go for this one. It's like the perpetual bond for me. That's a companion chronicle I like to look at to cheer me up because there's a lot of fun. And this one is like one of the most fun 4th Doctor adventures. If I'm down, I would most likely go for this one. The comedy is really well done, utilised fantastically, supporting characters great, performance is fantastic, acting fantastic, story, plot, sound design, music, it's all there. It's got jazzy 60s themes and technologies in it as well, which is great. Radio Frantic theme tune is wonderful. I never wanted this story to end. What a truly magnificent story. A fantastic start for the 4th Doctor adventures. So it definitely sounds like it's going to be very 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 area, doesn't it? And you're very much right. I give Wave of Destruction a 9 out of 10. Fantastic 4th Doctor adventure. Very much enjoyed it. Again, 10 out of 10. It's really hard for me to rate something 10 out of 10 because it either has to be nothing wrong with it, and second point, I have to look at it and say, is this 10 out of 10 material? And would I put it with the other stories which are 10 out of 10? No, I put this underneath. That's why I give it a 9. I don't think it goes on to the 10 out of 10 level. But yeah, that's just me. But still, 9 out of 10, that's a solid rating. And I would never think I would rate this 9 out of 10. No way. I was thinking I would rate this a 5 or a 6, but it gets a damn 9. Originally, first listen I gave this an 8, but yeah, second listen I loved it even more and it gets a 9 out of 10. So thanks for watching my review of Wave of Destruction by Justin Richards, and I'll see you in the next one. And of course, have a good one.